12 unpleasant things seniors do as they age that no one tells you. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so glad you stopped by. This is the place where we talk about living healthier, happier, and wiser as we hit those middle years and beyond. Today, I've got something a little different for you. A topic that's real, raw, and honestly, not something we usually chat about over coffee. It's called 12 Unpleasant Things Seniors Do as They Age That No One Tells You. Now, don't click away just yet. This isn't about doom and gloom. It's about understanding what's ahead, so we can face it with grace, humor, and maybe even a little preparation. I've spent years talking to folks, friends, patients, family members, about aging. I'm not just pulling this out of thin air. As someone who's seen it up close, I can tell you, aging isn't all grandkids and rocking chairs. There are quirks, habits, and downright awkward moments that creep up as we get older, and no one really warns us about them. Why? Maybe because it's uncomfortable, or maybe because we're all just figuring it out as we go. But today, I'm here to spill the beans, gently of course, because knowing what's coming can help us handle it better. So, grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's dive into these 12 things. Some might make you laugh, some might make you cringe, but all of them are part of this wild ride called aging. Ready? Let's get started. 1, they get stubborn, like really stubborn. Let's kick this off with something we've all seen. As folks age, they can get set in their ways. Picture this. My Uncle Jim, bless his heart, refuses to use a smartphone. He's still got a flip phone from 2005, and he'll argue for hours that it's just as good as my iPhone. Sound familiar? It's not just about tech, though. It could be refusing to try a new doctor or sticking to the same meatloaf recipe from 1972. The thing is, this stubbornness often comes from a need for control. Life starts throwing curveballs, health issues, retirement, and holding on to old habits feels safe. But man, it can drive you up the wall if you're trying to help. 2, they repeat stories a lot. Next up, something I bet you've noticed. Seniors love to repeat themselves. My mom, for example, has told me the same story about her high school prom at least 50 times. Same details, same punchline. Every time like it's brand new. At first, I'd nod politely, but now I just smile and let her roll with it. Why does this happen? Sometimes it's memory glitches. Sometimes it's just that those old stories feel like treasures they want to share. It's not the end of the world, but it can test your patience when you've heard about that prom dress for the 51st time. 3, they hoard stuff, even junk. Okay, let's talk about the stuff. My neighbor, Mrs. Carroll, has a garage packed with old newspapers, broken lamps, and jars of buttons. She says, you never know when you'll need them. Sound familiar? A lot of seniors start hoarding as they age. It's not always extreme like on TV, but it's their piles of things they can't let go of. Part of it's sentimental. Part of it's a Depression-era mindset of waste not, want not. But when you're tripping over stacks of yellow magazines, it's tough not to sigh, for they get grumpy about tiny things. Ever notice how little things can set off an older person? My dad once spent 20 minutes ranting because the grocery store moved the cereal aisle. It's been in aisle 5 for 30 years, he grumbled. As we age, our tolerance for change shrinks and small inconveniences feel huge. It's not that they're mean, it's just that their world feels less predictable and that cereal aisle was an anchor. Still, it's a bit unpleasant when you're on the receiving end of the grump fest. 5, they talk about health all the time. Here's one I see in my line of work constantly. Seniors become walking medical journals. Aches, pains, doctor visits, pills, you name it, they'll tell you about it. I had a patient once who spent 15 minutes describing his bunion in graphic detail. I'm a doctor, and even I was like, okay, that's enough. It's not vanity. It's just that health becomes front and center as we age. But for the rest of us, it's not exactly dinner table chatter. 6, they slow down, way down. This one's physical, but still catches you off guard. Walking with my grandma now takes twice as long as it used to. She shuffles, stops to catch her breath, and I've learned to build extra time into every outing. It's not just walking, driving, cooking. Even talking can slow to a crawl. It's frustrating when you're in a rush, but it's also a reminder their bodies aren't what they used to be. Patience becomes your best friend here. 7. They forget names, even yours. Oh, this one's a classic. My Aunt Linda called me, the tall one, for a whole Thanksgiving because my name slipped her mind. She laughed it off, but it stings a little when it's someone close. Memory fades with age. Not always dementia, just normal wear and tear on the brain. They might call you by your cousin's name or blank on your birthday. It's not personal, but it's definitely awkward. 8. They get clumsy and deny it. Here's something no one preps you for. Seniors can get clumsy, dropping things, bumping into furniture, tripping over nothing. My friend's dad spilled coffee all over the rug and swore, "The cup just jumped out of my hand." They'll deny it's a problem. 2, which makes it trickier. It's a mix of weaker muscles, slower reflexes, and pride. You want to help, but they'd rather pretend it didn't happen. 9, they stop caring about appearances. This one's kind of funny, but true. Ever see an older person in mismatched socks or a stained shirt they swear is still good? My grandpa once wore slippers to the grocery store, bright red ones with Santa faces. He didn't care one bit. As we age, comfort often trumps style, and that's fine until you're the one cringing next to them in public. It's not laziness. It's just priorities shifting. 10. They get nosy about your life. Seniors can turn into amateur detectives. When are you getting married? Why don't you visit more? My great-aunt once grilled me about my job for 30 minutes. Salary, hours, everything. They've got time on their hands, and curiosity takes over. It's usually harmless, but can feel like an interrogation when you're just trying to enjoy a quiet Sunday. 11. They say whatever pops into their head. Filters? Gone. My Uncle Bob once told a waiter, "The soup tastes like dishwater," right to his face. No hesitation. As we age, that little voice that says, "Maybe don't say that," quiets down. It's liberating for them, but for us, it's a mix of hilarious and mortifying. You learn to laugh it off. Eventually, 12. They cling to the past. Finally, this one's bittersweet. Seniors often live in yesterday. My grandma talks about her childhood like it was last week. Her old house, her first job, friends who've been gone for decades. The present? It's not as exciting. It's not unpleasant in a bad way, but it can feel like they're drifting away from now. It's their way of holding on to what shaped them, even if it leaves you feeling a little disconnected. So, there you have it. 12 unpleasant things seniors do as they age that no one really tells you about. From stubborn streaks to soup critiques. It's a mixed bag, isn't it? But here's the thing. These quirks aren't the whole story. They're just part of the bigger picture growing older, a picture that's still full of wisdom, love, and moments worth cherishing. If you're middle-aged like me, watching this happen to parents or grandparents, it's a wake-up call. We're not far off from this ourselves. Maybe we'll be the ones hoarding buttons or forgetting names someday. And that's okay. It's all part of being human. The trick is to meet it with understanding, not judgment. Next time your dad repeats that fishing story or your aunt snaps about the thermostat, take a breath and smile. They're still here, still them, just with a few extra layers. I'd love to hear from you. What's an unpleasant habit you've noticed in the seniors in your life? Drop it in the comments. Let's share a laugh or two. And if this hit home for you, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and ring that bell so you don't miss our next chat. We're in this aging thing together, and I'm here to help us navigate with a little more grace and a lot more joy. Until next time, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep living your best life, middle age and beyond. See you soon.